Here with head coach Danny Padron after the Bulldogs' 44-14 road win over Southwestern University. Coach, congratulations on the win, and what do you take away from that big victory in Georgetown on Saturday?
Well, it was a start for us, Tim, and we were pleased with a lot of things, and of course we've got a lot of work ahead of us. But that's the start of the season, and it's our first step. So we were pleased with the first step.
What did you see from Southwestern? Of course, a lot of excitement in that stadium for their return to football for the first time since 1950. What did you take away from that, and did you have any thoughts about what it might be like for you next year in your stadium when you have it here on campus?
Well, I tell you what, the atmosphere was contagious. You know, it was really a great college game type atmosphere, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of. And of course, you know, when we get on our stadium, we're going to experience that same type of euphoria, I guess. And so it was great to be a part of. It was nice that we ended up winning the football game too, but it was just great to be a part of that atmosphere.
Your defensive end, Ethan Powell, was named SCAC, a Defensive Player of the Week for his performance from his defensive end position. Talk a little bit about Ethan and his progression.
Ethan's relentless. He will rush the passer. I tell you, he would have had 2 or 3 sacks. I know just from looking at the game itself, wasn't even looking at the film, where I saw that left tackle sitting there holding him, and they didn't call it on him. So he does a great job as far as playing the pass. He can rush the passer well. He still has some improvement to do as far as stopping the run, though. But he really played well. And Brian did too on the other side. And they both did a good job for us.
Thought you really controlled that defensive line throughout that game with your defensive tackles, Trey Legrone and Dominic Stives. They don't get mentioned a whole lot just because they're always doing their job, it seems.
Well, I tell you what, both those guys have done a great job since even last year when they were freshmen. And you're right, Tim, they do a good job. They play great technique, and Trey doesn't make a lot of things happen, but like you said, he handles his responsibility. And Dom makes a lot of plays. So Dom does. He's kind of a sneaky guy. He should have been on offense. We recruited him to be our offensive center, but we need him so badly on defense, and he's really performed well there.
You had a lot of new faces in the secondary for you this first week. You had Cameron Scott starting at defensive back at corner for you. Abdallah Yazadi got some time in and got an interception. Talk a little bit about what those new guys, and Jacob Fox starting for the first time at the other corner.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, we knew they had the athletic ability to play, and of course it was the experience factor that you worry about. And the 2 touchdowns were against our freshmen, and once they get themselves disciplined with those eyes where they need to be. There's a lot of movement, a lot of excitement out there, and those eyes kind of drift and lose focus, and that's what happens when you have freshmen back there. But their athleticism made up for a lot of their inexperience, and so we were really pleased with what they did. That was a starting point for them, and then we're going to continue to get better with them.
Michael Wall was another freshman who started at safety for you, and tell us a little bit about what Michael brings to the table.
Mike's just a really smart kid, and he played at El Campo, and they got great tradition, great coaching there too. And so, in fact, Alan Roberts is coaching there. So, our former coach from TLU. So Michael's he's one of those exceptional young men that can just play, and he's going to provide a lot of depth for us. We're going to have Drake back, and so we'll get some. Cedric Whitaker will be back too in our secondary. So we'll be stronger there, and we'll have a lot of players that can play.
Offensively, your quarterback Brent Peavy tied a career high 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Dillon Barnes. Dillon in his first career start catches 3 touchdowns. And what did you see from Dillon in particular on Saturday?
Well, Dillon made plays when we threw it to him. We threw it 4. I think he caught 4 and 3 for a touchdown. We were disappointed he didn't score on the 4th one, but I thought that was kind of unique. It's just the way it was. We took advantage of their blitzes, and Brent did a good job getting the ball to him, and Tyler Figel did a super job of blocking on the edge there, and of course Dillon broke one for a touchdown, the first one I think he did. So Dillon did well, all our receivers did well, and I think Brent had another good ball game.
Did you like the decisions that Brent was making? Particularly, seemed like he he would look downfield, but he would take what the defense was giving him.
He's done a lot better job. Since the last 3 games of the season, Brent has really matured, and he made a couple mistakes. And one was a blitz situation where he felt like they were going to be a man, and the corner dropped off and made an interception at our last drive, I think, or next to last drive, and I think those little things that it will help him. I think he'll get better from it.
Your running backs, you used 3 primary running backs: AJ Salcedo, Marquise Parole, and then Dominique Hardaway also saw some time. What did you see from those backs?
Well, they played exactly like we expected. We felt like AJ was an effort guy that just, he's got just a big old heart and runs with his heart. Always runs hard and tough. And then Marquise has got a lot of talent, and it showed as a freshman. He made a lot of big runs. And then Dom is behind. He's been missed almost the whole fall camp, but he's such a great back, and he's fixing to be a guy that will also provide us a big play guy. And so they're going to come along and really help us. And I think we're going to have a couple of other freshmen that played on the JV last night that did well, and we expect them to contribute as well.
So you go into this game Saturday, 6 p.m. at Trinity against the Tigers, 1-0 in the SCAC, a 3-game SCAC schedule. That's hard to say. But you face a Tiger team that's probably your toughest competition going in. The pundits would say this is maybe for the conference title, this game here this Saturday. And tell us about just facing the Tigers here.
Well, Trinity's always, they have great coaching staff, and Coach Moore does a good job with those guys, and good athletes are smart kids, and they've had some tradition. They've had some success along the way. So it's going to be a big ball game. Like you said, it has implications for conference championships right there. And of course, when you only have 3 teams or 4 teams and 3 games, every game is that important. So we're certainly looking forward to it. We think we've got the players to play with them and match up with them, and so it'll be interesting. I think special teams are going to be a big key for us, and so we're going to have to play a lot better than we did this past ball game.
Well, outside of special teams, what are 2 other areas where you think you really have to perform well against Trinity to come out with a victory on Saturday?
Well, we got to stop their running game. They've got they do a good job running the football, and the good size. Their offensive line is really good, and so we've got to match up and stop the run game, and then control the passing game, not get beat like we did last week. Got to stay on top of those things. Offensively, we got to handle weak side blitz a little bit, so our pass protection is going to be critical for us, and then we've got to be able to run the football. And of course, like I said about the special teams, we got to perform better there.
As you talk about running the football, you had some other guys. We go back to the Southwestern game for just a bit. Joey Zakira, a first-time starter at center for you. You had Roderick Sparks, a former defensive tackle for you, starting for you. Talk about the offensive line and what you saw from them, particularly those guys starting for the first time.
Right. Well, we got 3 of those new starters. Eddie Scott
as well.
Replaced Dillon Alexander, and so those 3 right there. He had a little introduction to football, and to Southwestern's credit, they ran some stunts that we didn't expect. Of course, you don't see that in the first ball game, and it caused us some problems and early on. But our guys hung in there and really performed well. They really did. We were very pleased with what they did. And then of course, this is another step. This ball game coming up, so they'll be tested.
All right. Well, Coach, best of luck this week against the Tigers, Bulldogs, and Tigers, 6 p.m. in San Antonio at Trinity University. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you, Tim.